feel like sometimes when you have so much success and you're kind of like living in your dream, you don't really get to kind of like maybe reflect as much as you would like because you're so in it. Do you ever like sit back and reflect on just kind of the journey?
I think that every album that I release, new project, I'm kind of forced to go back to it because it's almost like a recap from like the beginning.
Right.
Just like I'm doing with you. Like you bringing up Bodega Bams and you know, Ola, and shout out to Bodega, the Tan Boys. Like I'm thinking about all of the eras, and I'm thinking about the music that came from that era, and I'm thinking about the joy and all of that. So yeah, it's constantly like going back and reflecting when I drop a new project and I do press runs, and even like sometimes like just to see how much I've grown. Like I'll go back and listen to like my first album, and just and also because that was I feel like that album, it took me my whole life to make, because up until that point I was just living life, and then I created an album 2013, and then like that came out of thin air. That was like the most purest I possibly could be creatively, because I didn't know what I was doing. Like I was just trying to create a genre. So I'm always making sure I don't lose that wonder when it comes to creating music.
I mean, you damn near kind of did create a genre. And it's like crazy if you think about work.
Yeah.
As like, there's like these forever club records. Like No Hands is one of them.
Yeah.
You know, like there's just records that no matter what, forever will get played in clubs. But for you, you got like Work, which obviously in the hip hop clubs gets played. But then like I don't even know how many EDM remixes to that thing. Bro, like every rave, there's a Work fucking joint. Like
yo, I'm seeing them pop up. Like I went to a Diplo festival, and he played one that they was going crazy to, like, and I was like, this is nuts. So it takes on a life of its own. I rock with it.
Do you like do you have a favorite one of the remixes?
I don't. They just I might have heard like two.
Because there's probably like two that are probably like huge. Obviously the OG remix is, you know, one of them ones.
Well, I mean, I didn't remix none of those. Everybody's just doing their own thing with it. But yeah, like the OG remix, the Work remix, yeah, that all
time remix.
I was just thinking about that because when I first did Work, I was like, all right, that's obviously the song. Well, for y'all that don't know, that song took me out of the hood through the stratosphere. 100%. But when I did the remix, it really solidified my space in music. And I remember like once Schoolboy Q, he had sent his verse in, and I was like, oh nah, he ain't gonna body me on my shit. And I remember recording that shit like I did 3 different verses, and then it was like the last one. I remember J. Cole doing a interview where he said songs that usually work has great call and responses. Mm-hmm. So I remember I put 2 call and responses in that song. It was the cootie down to the south
like I'm Biggie Pop, baby.
Yeah. Ballin'. Yeah. So it was 2 call and responses.
And for sure that it worked.
Yeah.
Was there anybody who almost made it on that remix, but just for whatever reason it just didn't get cleared or didn't make it over the finish line?
Nah, that was the perfect song, because during that time, everybody that was on that song, it was like on the cusp.
French, Trinidad James.
Like crazy. Like it was like French was hot. And you know,
hot as fish grease.
He always hopped on like the hottest shit. So you knew when French hopped on your shit, you had the hottest shit.
Yeah, that was around the time he was on everything. Like,
yo, he just popped up to my video shoot. When I did the Work, like
the OG video?
No. It was Wale that just popped up. Yeah, he popped up out of nowhere. But French always hopped on like the hottest shit, and still to this day. But Trinidad James, he had the Gold song out, and then Rocky, and then Schoolboy Q. So that was like ATL, LA, New York. It was just crazy.
Yo, can you speak back then? I feel like there was such a dope synergy between the TDE crew and the ASAP crew, specifically with y'all and Q.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like? Because obviously, you know, if you talk about movements coming out of each coast, like early 2010s, there's nothing that really kind of can compare to what each one of y'all's crews had going on individually. What was that synergy like with y'all, and how did that initially start?
And it wasn't just Q. It was like everybody. Our first tour was with Drake, and it was on
the Kendrick Kendrick opened.
Kendrick was there, and Rocky was there.
Was that Club Paradise?
Yeah, Club. The
that
first
shit was fire.
It was the first Club Paradise tour.
Yeah.
And yeah, like we would hang out every day. That's how I got that verse out of Q. I was like, yo, you gotta get on the remix. And I was trying to get my Kendrick verse. I was like, yo, I remember I almost had it. He was about to record, but we had to go perform. I was hot.
Damn. What song were you trying to get him on?
It was like somebody pulled up any beat and he was just feeling it. I was like, all right, good, let's go. Let's go. I was just trying to get him on a song, but I had Q locked in. I was trying to learn how to mix from Ali. I was learning from everybody.
What was that tour like? Because you think about a snapshot of history, that's crazy.
That tour was pure fun. Drake showed us how to do it when it came down to like lining up all the women. Like he'll send a scout, get all the girls, and then after he got all of the girls. Yeah. He got all of the chicks right here.
I feel like a lot of the bigger artists, they got that homie that they'll send out in the crowd.
Yeah. So he had that designated homie. And then but he also had great showmanship, and he knew how to rock a crowd.
Because that was a fucking Problems era, right? Fucking Problems was out.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
And then we had Kendrick, and we had
was Walk on that tour?
No.
There was another
Chase. Chase was on the tour. Shout out to Chase. But yeah, Kendrick performed, and he was like a M16 on stage, and just to see Top every day with the red fitted on at breakfast was like, oh yeah, we doing it. But you know, coming up, like Kendrick was amazing art. He's not the Kendrick we know today.
Of course, yeah.
Drake was big, but
Drake was massive.
He was not even
right. He was doing
now.
arenas, but I mean,
he was
that's
like
at the beginning of the like.
Yeah, this is the
superstar era.
This is amphitheater and gyms,
right?
Like era. But to me, that shit was like,
yeah,
we doing arenas. Like that's what it looked like.
Take Care, right? A second album. Yeah, that was like Take Care. Yeah, second album. Yeah,
and then we linking up. We going. It just opened up a whole different world to me, and like. Yeah, it was just on.
When you think about like how crazy it is to fast forward and almost everyone who was on that tour together is at odds with each other, it's kind of crazy.
I feel like that's kind of natural though, because even when you think about the family dynamic and like little brother, big brother things, you know, a lot of the times a little brother want to grow up and prove himself and don't want to be under the wing of the big brother. Like, so that happens a lot, like people grow into individuals. And a lot of the times where we start is not who we really are. We still growing into the person we are.
Right.
So the K Dot that was on tour, or the Drake that was on tour, the Rocket that was on tour, the Ferg that was on tour is not that same person. We were still learning ourselves.